Welcome to Speak Up, the podcast where we dive into topics that shape our everyday lives. I'm Ryan, and today we're talking about something that's rapidly becoming a part of our routines, ChatGPT, and how it's impacting the way we live, work, and learn.
Hey everyone, I'm Priya, and I'm excited to share some real-life ways ChatGPT can be used, from boosting productivity and learning new skills to even helping us reflect on personal goals. Today, we'll explore practical examples and insights on how this tool can make daily life simpler and more effective. So, whether you're curious about making ChatGPT your digital assistant or just looking to understand its role better, we've got you covered. Let's jump in.
So, now that we've introduced the topic, let's dive into one of the most immediate ways ChatGPT can impact our lives: personal productivity. You know, Priya, the other day, I was juggling multiple deadlines and felt overwhelmed. I asked ChatGPT to organize my tasks and even give me a rough schedule. It was surprisingly helpful. It broke down each task with time estimates, priorities, and even gave suggestions for little breaks to keep me focused. Honestly, it felt like having a virtual assistant that knows how to keep me on track.
That's exactly it, Ryan. And you know, it's not just about organizing tasks. I've been using ChatGPT to help with specific parts of my workflow, like drafting quick summaries or setting reminders. Just last week, I had to prepare for a client presentation, and I was running short on time. I gave ChatGPT a few notes, and it outlined my key points so well that I saved at least an hour. It was like having someone there to handle the little details, which really added up. And the great part is, it doesn't just speed things up. It also gives me space to focus on more creative tasks that I actually enjoy.
Absolutely, Priya. It's like it offloads those tedious parts that usually drain us. And I've noticed that it's not only about efficiency. For example, I used it recently to help draft a tricky email where the wording really mattered. ChatGPT gave me multiple ways to phrase it professionally, which was a huge time saver and made me feel more confident about how it would be received. I think it's a game changer in helping us stay organized without feeling overwhelmed by the small stuff, don't you think?
Completely agree, Ryan. And it's almost like ChatGPT is adapting to different types of needs. Like, it's not just handling the task, it's adding a bit of personality to how it helps. When I need a quick reminder, it's efficient. But when I need ideas or help with presentation phrasing, it goes that extra mile to make it sound natural, almost like it's trying to fit my voice. It's a blend of functionality and personalization that makes it such a versatile productivity tool.
Exactly, and it's a big reason why people are finding it so useful in daily routines. The personalization aspect is underrated, and it's what makes each interaction feel tailored. You know, I also think ChatGPT encourages us to set priorities. For instance, it can suggest which tasks might be better suited for the morning when energy levels are high, or how to group similar tasks together. It's like a productivity coach in a way, guiding us to make better use of our time and energy.
I love that. A productivity coach is spot on, Ryan. ChatGPT's adaptability makes it not just useful for one-off tasks, but something we can turn to regularly to streamline the way we operate each day. And in a world where time always seems to be in short supply, having that reliable resource to lean on, even for 5 minutes, can make all the difference.
So, we've talked about productivity, and now let's look at something just as impactful: learning and skill building. ChatGPT has become a pretty powerful learning companion for me. Just the other day, I was trying to understand some basic finance concepts for a project. I asked ChatGPT to break down terms like compound interest and risk management, and it gave me explanations that were simple but deep enough to really grasp the basics. It even went further to suggest books and resources. It's like having a tutor on standby, ready to explain things as needed.
Yes, exactly, Ryan. I've had a similar experience with language learning. I've been practicing Spanish, and ChatGPT is incredible for this because it can help with vocabulary, sentence structure, and even pronunciation tips. I can have mini conversations, and it corrects my mistakes in a way that's really constructive. The best part is, I don't feel pressured. It's more forgiving than, say, a live tutor where I might feel nervous or self-conscious. It's almost like having a friendly language partner who's there whenever I need. No judgment, just support.
I love that point, Priya. It's judgment-free learning, which can be so valuable. I've noticed, too, that it helps with creative skills, like writing and brainstorming. Sometimes I'll type out an idea for a blog post or article, and ChatGPT will help me expand it or suggest a unique angle I hadn't thought of. It's like having a brainstorming buddy, throwing out ideas or refining my work without interrupting my flow. It's surprising how much it boosts confidence, knowing there's a resource that can enhance your ideas and skills in real time.
Absolutely, and I think it's part of what makes learning with ChatGPT feel more engaging. For example, last week I wanted to understand a bit about digital marketing strategies. I typed in a few questions, and ChatGPT guided me through the basics of SEO, social media campaigns, and analytics. But what made it special was that it adapted to my pace and even suggested follow-up questions I hadn't thought to ask. It wasn't just one-way learning. It felt interactive, almost like a structured course that I could customize to suit my curiosity.
It's so true. It opens up this world of personalized learning. And it's not just limited to professionals or students. It's practical for anyone who's curious about something, whether it's a hobby, a skill, or even learning more about global issues. I once asked ChatGPT to explain a recent news topic in simple terms, and it did so in a way that didn't oversimplify but still made it accessible. I think it's incredible how it's breaking down knowledge barriers and making complex topics more approachable.
That's a great point, Ryan, especially about accessibility. ChatGPT is really democratizing learning by being available 24/7 and adaptable to each person's level. I mean, think of the people who might not have access to formal education or specialized courses. This is a way for anyone, anywhere, to gain knowledge and skills on their own terms. It makes lifelong learning feel genuinely achievable, and that's such a powerful shift.
Moving on, let's talk about creativity. I think this is one of ChatGPT's more surprising strengths. It's not just about learning or productivity. It can actually inspire creativity. For instance, I was recently stuck on ideas for a project proposal. I had a rough concept, but it needed more structure and excitement. I used ChatGPT to brainstorm some angles and ended up with several new perspectives I hadn't thought of. It's like having an unbiased brainstorming partner, which is so valuable when you're feeling creatively blocked.
I completely agree, Ryan. I've had a similar experience with content creation. When I need fresh ideas for social media posts or blogs, I can throw a rough concept at ChatGPT, and it helps build on that. Just last week, I was working on a series of posts about wellness, and I asked ChatGPT for some unique takes on mindfulness. It suggested creative, doable exercises that I could turn into content instantly. It's great because it goes beyond just giving generic advice. It really tailors responses based on the specifics you provide. It almost feels like it's invested in helping you produce something meaningful.
Yes, exactly. And it's like ChatGPT is built to spark that initial push we often need. I even find it helpful for refining drafts, which, for a lot of us, can be the toughest part. You put in your rough idea, and it suggests edits that feel natural and cohesive. Recently, I was drafting a speech, and it helped me organize my thoughts in a way that made everything flow better. It's amazing how it manages to support our own creative voice rather than overpower it. It makes creativity feel accessible even on days when inspiration is hard to come by.
I couldn't agree more, Ryan. And it's not only about creating content from scratch. Sometimes I need help with expanding on a single idea or adding more depth to it, especially when I'm writing about complex topics. ChatGPT can take a simple prompt and dive into details I hadn't considered, which adds richness to the final output. It's almost like it fills in the gaps without taking over the core idea. Last month, I was working on a campaign slogan, and the suggestions it provided helped me refine the message to be more impactful. It's a unique support for those of us who juggle creative projects daily.
That's a great example, Priya. I think a lot of people see ChatGPT as a tool for straightforward tasks, but it's really versatile when it comes to creative problem solving. It's like it gives you the courage to explore directions you might hesitate to go on your own. I also find that it's incredibly adaptive to different creative styles, whether it's something formal like a business presentation or more personal, like a blog entry. It adjusts based on the tone and style you're aiming for. That adaptability keeps it useful across so many types of projects.
Exactly, Ryan. And that adaptability is what makes ChatGPT feel like a real partner in the creative process. It helps eliminate that dreaded blank page feeling and makes it easier to jumpstart new ideas. Plus, having this kind of on-demand support means we're not limited to working only when inspiration strikes. Instead, we can create consistently and maintain quality, even on our off days. It's really making creative work more sustainable.
Now that we've covered productivity, learning, and creativity, let's explore something a bit different: mental wellness. It might sound unexpected, but ChatGPT can play a supportive role in personal reflection and even stress management. I've found that on those days when I'm feeling scattered or overwhelmed, using ChatGPT to organize my thoughts can actually be really grounding. Just a simple prompt like "help me focus on my goals" brings up suggestions that help me step back, prioritize, and regain a sense of control. It's not a replacement for real mental health support, of course, but it does add value by giving you tools to think more clearly.
That resonates a lot, Ryan. I've used it in a similar way, especially for personal reflection. Sometimes I'll type out my thoughts or frustrations, and ChatGPT offers prompts that make me pause and consider new perspectives. It's almost like journaling, but with guidance. For example, I recently had a day full of back-to-back meetings, and by the evening, I was totally drained. I typed a quick message about feeling overwhelmed, and ChatGPT suggested a few quick mindfulness exercises and reflection prompts. It reminded me to take breaks, focus on gratitude, and unwind. It was subtle, but it really helped me transition from work to relaxation.
Absolutely, Priya. And I think a big part of it is that ChatGPT provides these small, actionable reminders without any judgment. It doesn't replace real human connections, but it does offer that gentle nudge to check in with yourself. I've even used it for setting small personal goals, like drinking more water or taking mindful breaks during work. It's like having a quiet companion encouraging positive habits. And because it's so accessible, you can get that support whenever you need it, which makes a difference, especially on busy days when self-care can be easily overlooked.
Yes, and I think there's something comforting about that constant accessibility. Even if it's just for a few minutes a day, having a tool that's always there, ready to listen and suggest ideas, makes mental wellness feel more achievable. I think it's helping break down the stigma that self-care has to be a big event or a scheduled therapy session. It can be as simple as taking a few moments to reflect and organize your thoughts. Last week, I asked ChatGPT for a quick gratitude exercise, and it helped me shift focus to positive things, even after a rough day. It's a small thing, but it reminded me to appreciate the good in my life.
Exactly, Priya. It's those little moments of mindfulness that add up over time, and ChatGPT offers practical support for making them part of our daily routine. And it's not just about mindfulness. It can also give perspective. I once asked it to help me outline my goals, and seeing them broken down step by step made them feel a lot more manageable. I think this kind of reflective assistance, even though it's simple, is valuable for anyone aiming to improve their mental well-being or bring more intention to their day.
Well said, Ryan. ChatGPT's impact on mental wellness is subtle but real. It's helping create space for reflection in a way that's approachable and stigma-free. And for many of us, it's not just about getting things done, but about balancing our mental well-being too. Having that accessible, judgment-free support is such a refreshing change in a world that often feels overwhelming.
So far, we've covered how ChatGPT can support us in personal tasks and mental wellness, but it's also a game changer for professional and academic efficiency. Personally, I've found it incredibly useful for tasks like summarizing long reports or drafting outlines. Recently, I had to read a dense, 20-page industry report, and I was short on time. ChatGPT was able to condense the key points into a digestible summary that saved me hours. It's like having an assistant that can quickly pull out the essentials, making work tasks much more manageable.
I can relate to that, Ryan. I often use ChatGPT to help with research summaries and even to organize presentations. It's like having a second brain to handle the initial processing of information. For instance, I was recently preparing for a conference, and ChatGPT helped me refine my talking points and even provided quick definitions for some technical terms I wanted to explain simply. It saved me so much prep time, allowing me to focus on delivering the presentation rather than getting bogged down by research. It's efficient and thorough, two things we often need in fast-paced work environments.
That's such a great example, Priya. And I think it's particularly helpful for those little tasks that usually eat up valuable time. I've also used ChatGPT to draft professional emails, especially when I need to strike the right tone, like for a follow-up email with a client. I can type in a rough idea of what I want to say, and ChatGPT helps make it polished and concise, saving me from overthinking. It even suggests phrases that keep the message respectful and engaging. It's a small thing, but these saved minutes add up, especially when we're handling multiple tasks in a day.
Exactly, Ryan. And for academic settings, it's just as valuable. I work with students occasionally, and I've seen how they use ChatGPT to break down complex subjects or outline essays. It can take a broad topic and guide them on how to structure their arguments, almost like a tutoring session. But it's more than just saving time. It actually boosts their understanding by providing clear, step-by-step insights. For example, one of my students was struggling with a history paper, and ChatGPT suggested a logical structure to follow. It empowered the student to approach the topic with more confidence.
That's a fantastic example, Priya, and it shows how adaptable ChatGPT is. I think it's also perfect for brainstorming in a corporate setting. Let's say we're planning a new product or marketing campaign. ChatGPT can help generate initial ideas or even suggest audience segments to target. It's like having a brainstorming partner who's well-read and can spark fresh ideas, but without the need for a meeting. Especially in remote work settings where quick, reliable feedback can be challenging, ChatGPT offers that immediate, intelligent support.
Definitely, Ryan. It's redefining productivity by being both efficient and accessible. And the fact that it's always available means there's no waiting time, which is a big plus in both academic and professional settings. ChatGPT has become that dependable resource that can fill in gaps, organize complex tasks, and even provide a second opinion when needed. It's making professional and academic life less overwhelming and a lot more manageable, which is truly invaluable.
As we wrap up, let's talk about something important: privacy and responsible use. While ChatGPT is an incredible tool that can boost productivity and creativity, we need to be careful with the information we share, especially when it comes to sensitive or professional contexts. It's easy to get caught up in how helpful it is, but we always have to keep privacy in mind to use it effectively and securely.
Absolutely, Ryan. ChatGPT is here to support us, not to replace our judgment or decision-making. By being thoughtful about what we input, we can truly maximize its benefits without risking privacy concerns. It's all about balance, using it as a tool to empower us while being aware of the ethical considerations that come with AI. And with that, thank you all for tuning in to Speak Up. We hope this conversation has given you new ways to think about how ChatGPT can enhance your daily life. Until next time, take care.